What's something you found on a partner's phone that instantly changed the relationship forever, but they never knew you saw it? A few years ago, I was adding some items to the Notes app grocery list on my wife's phone. The app opened to the most recent list, which was a copy of her wedding vows with the promises she made to me. Things like supporting my dreams, being my partner in crazy adventures. Besides, each one was a list of ideas to match, including some things we had done recently. We were going through a rough patch at the time, and seeing that list doubled my resolve to work through it. Did you guys work it out? We worked it out. We were dealing with grief from a stillbirth and my stepfather, who raised me, being sick. It took a lot of therapy and honesty, but the relationship has never been better. That sucks, man. Glad to hear you are doing better, though. The timing is especially important. Beautiful. I went through my partner's phone after he passed away from cancer last year. I had to find contact numbers for a few friends not on the funeral list we made. In his Notes app, I found phrases he used in his letters to me, as we often wrote to each other when he was in hospital and visiting times were short. English was not his first language, and I hadn't realized how hard he had practiced in order to say what he wanted to say. I sent myself a copy of those notes and look at them often. I am sorry for your loss. Sounds like a great and thoughtful person. There was a photo album of nothing but pictures of me and our son titled, My Perfect Men. There were pictures in there I didn't even know about. Him helping me wash my car, us laying on the couch, him teaching me Minecraft, me helping him ride a bike, etc. I was a mess for a while. Ugly crying. Happy tears, but ugly crying. I had no idea I was loved so deeply by her. My wife is quiet, introverted, and didn't grow up in an environment that was outwardly loving. I wasn't snooping at all, but asked her to share some recent pictures of our son after a sports day at his school. I saw her in a different light after that. Our already good marriage hit a level I didn't even know was possible. I like how half of these are the most wholesome stuff you've ever read, and the other half is absolute horror stories. Absolute horror stories that end with the phrase, 6 years later we broke up. Like, seriously? His messenger chats with my mom. He jokes with my mom a lot and would always ask about me, what I was like as a kid. Why am I so full of energy and how to take care of me? My mom had cancer and passed away last 2023, but their last messages to each other was him assuring her he'd take care of me the way she wants to. This is the type of post I hope to see on this thread. I'm sorry for your loss. Their bond really shows the depth of his character. You were lucky to have them. Left her laptop open and I saw a folder called Secret Stuff. Momentary panic followed and I couldn't help myself. It was literally just thousands of pictures of our dogs. But what was in her dogs folder? Also more pictures of our dogs. Her phone camera roll is 99% our dogs. The other 1% is food she's cooked. A couple months into dating a girl, I was sitting in the passenger seat of her car, waiting for her to come back from running inside her house, when I saw a text come through on her phone that said, "Happy anniversary, baby. Can't wait to see you tonight." So yeah, that ended. Holy shit. Was she married or just cheating on her boyfriend? Both, technically. A friend of mine was in the same boat, and when he went to text the number of the apparently cheated on husband, he found he had already been blocked. She was such an advanced level of cheating that she just preemptively blocked him from texts and social media in case he ever did find out. He handed me his phone when he was driving so I could text his mom for him. When I unlocked his phone, it opened to a note that was just a list of everything I've ever mentioned that I liked, and it was titled Gift Ideas. Like, one of the items in the list was something I had seen in the window of a shop and mentioned that I thought it was cute. Then we just kept walking. It made me feel so loved to know that he paid attention to every tiny thing. We're married now, LOL. I worked with a guy who'd just buy those things ASAP. Not to give ASAPs, but he always had a couple presents ready for whatever special date he forgot about. Never scrambling on February 13th, or when he forgot their anniversary or her birthday or whatever. It was kind of genius, but it was also such an engineer thing to do. See problem, solve problem. Not his phone, but my late husband's tablet. A year after he died, I was clearing his tablet of stuff and saw he had a Twitter account. I was reading through his posts and hit one that had me in tears for the rest of the day. He had responded to some thread about keeping women in their place or some such garbage. Husband had posted a long rant about how being married for 35 years to a woman who never tired of learning, who never let things stop her, she stayed interested in new things, was the best thing in his life, and that a smart, thinking woman kept his life interesting and exciting. I always knew he felt this way, but seeing him say this to a total internet stranger in a forum he thought I would never see was just kind of overwhelming for a few days. We were friends for 45 years, best friends for 43 years, married for 37 years. He died 3.5 years ago, and the hole in my life is just as big as the day he died. I'm not languishing or yearning to follow him anytime soon, but I miss him tremendously. I'm sorry for your loss. That's a touching story. A folder with pictures of me, but not pictures on dates or anything. Mostly pictures of me making silly faces or sleeping or eating. It showed me that he values me being comfortable and just existing a lot more than being dolled up and perfect constantly. I wish that line of thinking was more common. I have an entire secret folder of photos of my fiancé that she said, "You delete that I'm serious," when I show her the photo I took. Unless it's a perfect photo, lighting, angle, she doesn't like it. I love asking my wife for ugly selfies. She pretty much turns on her front-facing camera, snaps the pic, and sends. No filter, no makeup, no angle, no lighting, just a raw image. It's my absolute favorite selfie to receive of her. Notes keeping track of how long since we last had a fight, when to pick the next one if we haven't had one by then, and potential things to pick a fight about. She didn't believe in a relationship going more than 4 weeks without a fight. Also a list of my passwords she'd managed to uncover. A girl I dated years ago once confronted me about how I wouldn't start fights, and that it bored her. She was used to toxic relationships. She got nuttier, and over time, we ended up having plenty of fights. She told me to pound sand one day over something trivial. I asked if she wanted to join me for dinner with my roommates. She didn't reply, so I told her I'd catch her afterward. At that point, she did reply and lashed out how I just do what I want, and don't care about her, and to not bother speaking to her again. So I complied, and that was that. I was pretty fed up with her and just shrugged it off and had a laugh with my friends at dinner. Apparently I'm single now. I talked to her years later, and she conceded she was still in love, and it broke her heart that I didn't go after her. I LOL'd. Reminds me of a guy I was dating and was going to move in with. I trusted him wholeheartedly, so one morning when he came over I told him I had cold feet about moving in together, but I wasn't going to back out, that I loved him just the same. Nothing had happened, and that I just had a moment of being unsure, but once again, that I was fine and confident now. He stormed out, blocked me everywhere, and called the leasing office to cancel the apartment lease. I was very confused and distraught, which was made worse when the leasing office emailed me with cancellation info. I tried to call and text him, but was blocked. So I emailed and asked WTF was going on. We discussed what just happened. The next day, he wanted to move in with me again and continue on as usual. I promptly said no thanks. That train had left the station the second he decided to storm out and act irrationally instead of talking to me. Been together since 17. Had a gut feeling to check his phone, but he always was guarded when it come to it. He fell asleep one day with YouTube open, looked through his Instagram, and for the past 6 months he was in a group chat with 2 other people, sending each other videos of using the restroom in diapers and exchanging feet pics. All for amounts of money that never exceeded $10. No idea how to even approach this. I don't mean to laugh, but this is insane. To be honest, I laughed too at first. Was completely blindsided, at least let it be for more money or something IDK. I saw my wife keeps an app for reminders for everyone's birthday and significant dates of our relationship. She also has a bunch of photo montages she created of us together. I never questioned her love and devotion of me. Proof that she was cheating. Took a video with my own phone of all the proof. Then confronted her that I knew she was cheating but didn't tell her how. She confessed to cheating with an entirely different person than what I had proof of. Wild times, LOL. My husband changed his phone password to my name within 3 months of us dating. He didn't tell me he had. I only realized one day when I needed to unlock his phone and asked. I had trust issues going into our relationship, so it was a shock that someone would use my name for anything. We've now been together for 7 years, and I'm still his password. She left a Facebook Messenger conversation between her and her friend open on her computer. I'd use her computer when I was at class, but it was her complaining how much time I spent at her apartment, and that I was smothering her by always being around. I was surprised by this, as she'd have a breakdown and accuse me of abandoning her when I'd leave to stay at my own place for a few days. Trying to appear cool in front of her friend LOL. I'm totally not clingy, he is. He can't get enough of me. Drop a comment below. Have you ever found something on a partner's phone that changed everything? No judgment here, we're all curious. And hey, don't forget to check out the other vids for more shocking Reddit stories. Catch you later.